Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on this morning, guys.
Well, are you fishing?
No. I'm actually a couple days ago. I had to declare BizCon Delta. Man, that's when normal working hours are all but abandoned, and I have to start working 7 days a week due to workload. So
Oh no!
I've been sticking home. I got a lot of work to do this year.
So you've been working. You've been repairing reels. Wow.
Yeah, this year has just been off the charts as far as rod repair and reel repair and upgrades go.
Folks, if you have any kind of rod and reel, or if you have a rod that you break the tip off of, you can bring it to Beau, and Beau's going to look at it, and he's going to tell you, okay, well, yeah, we can put a tip on it, but it's going to be a completely different rod. And he ain't going to BS you. He ain't going to say, yeah, we can fix it, but you ain't going to like it. He's going to tell you, okay, we'll fix it, but you got to understand you have a different rod now. You're not going to have that limber tip up there. You're not going to have that feel. Now, you can, if it's a good graphite rod, you'll still have a good rod. You don't have to worry about that. But if it's like a Shakespeare, well, you ain't going to break a Shakespeare ugly stick. That's what we use. But you can.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where, there's once you break the blank of a rod,
mm-hmm.
there's no fusing it back together.
No.
And so your only option is to retip it and reset the guides if necessary. But whenever I get a customer that's in that situation, I always make sure to ask them one question. Are you happy with the action, and are you happy with the power of the rod in its current state? And if they say yes, we can totally whip it on and get it fixed, reset the guides, put a new tip top
mm-hmm.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not, I always tell them, spend your money wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Go, save your money, put it toward a new rod. Too much of the rod tip when too much of the rod tip gets broken off, that's when you start running into scenarios like that.
And then Beau will tell you that Abu Garcia makes the best reels out there.
well, I know you're messing with me, Ken, and I can't say that. But I will say that throughout all of my professional experience, there seems to be three companies that do it much, much better than anybody else in the fishing reel manufacturing world. That's Shimano, Abu Garcia, and Penn. And an honorable fourth place, I think, is deservingly starting to go to Lew's.
Yeah, Lew's makes some good reels.
Well, the good thing about Lew's is that they've been around for a significant
mm-hmm.
amount of time now since they've reinvented themselves. And throughout a lot of the different models of their reels, they're using a lot of the same parts.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes it possible for those reels to be repaired for longer in the future. So
mm-hmm.
it makes them more of a good long-term investment than a bad, good, or great short-term investment.
Folks, I'll set it straight. Beau says Shimano is it. He says Shimano's a great reel. Abu Garcia is what I use. I've been using them since '81. And Abu Garcia, some really good reels. Both, you can't go wrong if you go with a Penn or Abu Garcia or a Shimano.
I thought Shimano was mostly saltwater, though.
No, Shimano they're getting into the
freshwater too.
They used to when it was just the 100s, 200s, 300s, and 400s. They still made saltwater, but they made freshwater. And hell, I'm going to shut up and let Beau tell you about it. Beau, they make...
Well,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Shimano makes, all three manufacturers, all four of those manufacturers that I mentioned before, mm-hmm. they all make, saltwater-focused gear mm-hmm. and freshwater-focused gear. But, I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, it's all about how the reel is sealed, in my opinion. And in my opinion, 99% of these reels are all sealed lacklusterly about the same. 99% of them all have the same stainless steel bearings and stainless steel spool shafts and stainless steel anti-reverse roller bearing clutches. And so they all have this tendency to rust in the exact same way. You know, all the parts throughout all these different reels, they all theoretically operate the same way, similar to like how vehicles do. And so they all have the same potential for wear. And it's that wear that is occurring that once the replacement part stock supply is depleted, you know, that's what inevitably forces you to have to buy a new reel.
Yep, and you know, there is some good reels out there. What are you seeing on any of the aftermarket, or maybe not aftermarket, but the big box reels? Are they making pretty good reels? I mean, just for the novice that just wants to get a low end reel, go out there and have fun with. Will the big box?
Absolutely. I mean, all these places are, you know, I don't care you know, you and I, we've talked about this before. We don't care if it's a $20 reel or a $120 reel. As long as you go buy a fishing reel to get yourself in the water, you know, that's what really matters.
Yep.
But what I will say is that, you know, if you're trying to spend your money wisely, I say do your best to spend at least $130 or better, because it seems like at about that, it's about that $99 to $130 price point difference where you go from buying a reel that you can keep going. You know, if you're a heavy user, you can keep it going because you know there's some parts available for it, but not nearly. It just isn't nearly the quality of long-term investment that a $130 reel is. Yep. You know, like the Revo S level or the Shimano Sitica level. You know, that $130 price point, I think it's really important, because I think it's at about there that you actually start spending money on a long-term investment as opposed to a short-term investment.
Tell me something, Beau. Do they still make 202 Zebcos?
Oh, you know what? I don't. Most reel repair places don't.
They don't work on Zebco.
On those spin cast Zebcos. But that's not to say that they aren't nice reels. You know, they make some really nice.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, it's one of those things where when it, you know, the more you use it, the quicker it's going to malfunction on you.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where you buy it when it breaks. You expect to buy a new one.
Yeah, and you know that's exactly it. When you buy a 202, you buy two of them, because if you got a big old carp, he's gonna rip that 202 up, and vice versa. If you get a big catfish, same thing. But you know,
but the great thing about those types
get you in the water
is that they're very user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so they do make for really great reels when you're trying to introduce somebody into fishing.
Yep. Tell them how to find you, brother.
All right. Anybody looking for me can find me at Papa Chops Rod and Reel Repair at PapaChopsATX.com, or they can call me at 512-294-3155.
Beau, we appreciate it. Give them that phone number one more time.
512-294-3155.
PapaChop Rod and Reel Repair, folks.com. Appreciate it, my friend.